All right. Episode 3, Angry Bears Fan Podcast. What is it, week 12 now? Thanksgiving week, right? Week
Yes,
11
sir.
is week 12.
Week 12.
Week 12, week of Thanksgiving. Bears play on Sunday. We just got done playing the Falcons. This will also probably be the last time we do the podcast in this format. I mean, we'll still do it similarly, but I'll have a different overlay, things like that, maybe a little ticker or something. You know what I mean? Every month, every few episodes, I'm going to make sure we're showing upgrades to the stream.
Yeah.
Um, but let's get right into it. The the Bears lost to the Falcons. I really thought we were going to win that game. Like I said in the last podcast, I really thought that was just thought we were better than them. I guess I thought wrong. I don't know. I guess I still think we're better than them. I just think this season of the Bears, we're older, so we remember those Buffalo Wild Wings commercials where they were like, "Oh, I want this game to go into overtime," and there's like the guy like flips a switch and the fucking like. I feel like the Bears games like we're about to win, and Ryan Pace is like, "Oh, we want to pick top 5," and he flips a fucking switch, and just like all hell starts to fucking break loose. I fucking missed my parlay on the final drive. I needed Justin Fields to get 23 more yards to hit my 8-leg parlay, and he threw a fucking pick on the first play. I thought it was locked in. I'm like, even if we don't score, he's going to throw 23 yards. And I needed 23 yards, and I think I needed a half a rushing yard by Montgomery actually. So I lost it by 2. But
Well,
I felt like on that drive, if it would have went 5 plays, I would have gotten that. So it sucked. It sucked to see us lose on an interception. Bad thrown ball by Justin. He's been throwing a lot of those. I'm starting to get a little weary in the pocket. He just throws like weird arm angles where like I think
he has to have the league lead and balls thrown off of offensive linemen's fucking helmets. Like,
yeah.
and here's the thing, he doesn't need to. Like
No, I agree.
that, it's the sidearm. He thinks
Yeah,
he's getting a little
Mahomes.
fancy,
Yeah,
Mahomes style sidearm, and
because
he
he's
does it.
tall and he could just get and throw. Like I don't understand it. He does it a lot.
He
Um,
absolutely.
I don't know if he's afraid of the rush or I don't know what's going on, but I don't. I think that's definitely something he needs to work on. Um, he got hurt in that game. He took a big hit that I was really upset with the O line about myself being an offensive lineman. He got hit, fell down to one knee. He was down, obviously. I can't believe they didn't call rough in the passer. And then another guy just decks him, like not even pushes him over, clearly full form tackles him. They don't call rough in the passer. For me, I wanted to see one of our linemen get kicked out of the game after that. If they weren't going to
Tevin,
call rough, if they weren't
Tevin
going to call
Jenkins
roughing, yeah, if they weren't going to call
Tevin Jenkins
roughing,
wasn't playing, so that's
yeah,
why none of that
I,
happened.
mean, I think I agree. I think he would have done something. I feel like if they would have thrown the flag, if they weren't going to throw the flag, then one of our guys needed to get kicked out of the game right there to send a fucking message to everybody in the league and moving forward that they're just not going to hit Justin Fields like that, especially not in the pocket. It's different when he's running 100 miles an hour, 30 yards down the field. That's different. But I feel like the running quarterbacks in the league and young quarterbacks, so it's a double-edged sword, don't get those calls from the refs. So like I
No,
said, it's double-edged
no.
for Justin, where he's a runner and he's young, so he doesn't have any rep. But I would love to, like, somebody's got to be tracking that. Justin Fields has taken way more roughing the passer late hits that haven't been called than anybody I've seen in the league by far.
It's absolutely terrible. The refereeing when it comes to Justin Fields. And it's all over. It's not just locally where we're bitching about it. It's nationally people are bitching about it too. They see what Justin Fields, the beating he takes, and they're just like, "What
Especially
the
for a
fuck?"
kid who protects himself so well when he's actually running. He's not a
It's
shit, and he doesn't put defenders in weird situations where they don't know. He slides very well. He gets down. He
I
gets out of
want
the
to
way.
know how Tyler Heineke gets that call with the game on the line
But
against an
Justin Fields
undefeated
did. Yes,
Philadelphia. Yeah, I just don't fucking understand it.
that was such a bad call. He clearly was down on one knee for like a full second, and the guy clears him. I literally jumped up in my living room and screamed. So I was fucking livid. It's like, what are these linemen not even paying attention? But 2 of you guys blew your fucking block. You should be fucking embarrassed. You should be fucking trying to take that guy's head off. Like, not only did you fucking completely whiff on your block, the guy comes in fucking untouched. We have the worst interior line. I was like trying to give these guys some love, but the 3 guys in the middle, especially when Tevin Jenkins isn't playing, are just god awful. I've
Sam
never.
Mustipher is the worst offensive
Yes,
lineman in
Sam
the
Musfer
NFL.
is a terrible center. I don't know.
Did you see some of the tweets that his mother put out?
No,
Oh
I would
my,
love to see those.
oh
We're gonna have
my,
to look those up. I will
oh
look those up
my
and we will
God,
talk
dude.
about it because I'm going to fucking reply and explain to her why her son is a fucking idiot. Like, and I hate to call this because obviously these guys are way better than me, but what the fuck is that guy doing? Like, I've never seen so many plays where, like, there's one play where, like, I think I've seen it going around on Twitter and shit. It's like a boot play where he lets his guy go and he rolls out and he's supposed to block somebody else. He's just fucking standing there, like not blocking
Yeah.
anybody. Like, what are you doing? Like, roll one-on-one of a lineman. It's like, hit somebody.
It doesn't matter.
Hit
You find somebody and you hit
somebody in
them.
a different jersey and you hit
Yep.
them. You should never be standing around looking like this, your offensive lineman. Like, what the hell is happening? Like,
Dude,
and
he was so fucking lost. Like, he just.
Jonathan Allen and
reminds
the
me.
Redskins were literally beating the shit out of him. I was like, how are you in the NFL? Like, I know these guys are good. You know what I mean? I couldn't imagine trying to block one of those guys. But he has to be better. Like, who do we have? Like, are our backups that bad? Like, are they worse than Sam Musford? Like, what is going on?
What I want to see happen is we picked up we picked up Alex Leatherwood or whatever preseason.
Yeah, I want to see him play. I want to see him
what I'm saying? I want to see what he has.
He's active now, right? But he's just not out there.
Yeah, but he had mono and he was out for a while. So let's see what he's got. I mean, yeah, he's a tackle.
What are they going to play him at guard or tackle, you think?
Let's see what he's got to tackle. They might kick him into guard because remember, Tevin Jenkins was drafted as a tackle as well, but he moved inside the guard. You know what I'm saying? He has that flexibility, and I
do want to see Leatherwood play. Musford, I do not want to see him out there anymore.
We have to do something.
Not if Justin Fields is at quarterback. I don't want to see him out there.
Riley Reef actually did
He's been okay.
Well. He did okay.
He was supposed to be better. I haven't been really happy with him. He was supposed to play left tackle, right? He's been playing.
No, he's right tackle.
Well, I'm saying he was supposed to come play left tackle. We got him initially. Braxton Jones has been really good. I won't say really good, just for a first round. What was he? Or not first round, first year player, fifth round pick.
Yeah,
he's been really good.
He's been serviceable.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine at right tackle. Tevin will be fine at guard. I don't know. I think they should have gave him another shot at right tackle, but I guess we got a right tackle now, so it doesn't matter. I don't think he was that bad at right tackle. I just think it was a lot. Like your first year as a tackle, I can only imagine. There's a lot of shit going at you.
Yeah, because Larry Borum was bad.
Yeah, Borum was bad. Jones, I like.
To Riley Reef, you know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing there. Lucas Patrick being out. Really
he's a little bit better. I like him. Cody Whitehair is mids.
Well, Cody Whitehair is not back next year. I can promise you that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him being bad. I think he's fine as like some guard or something. I think he's okay. I think he's way better than Sam Musford.
Absolutely.
But I agree. He won't. He probably won't be back because he's going to want money.
Well, here's the thing: is that legit Orlando Brown, offensive tackle from the Chiefs, Elgin Jenkins, offensive guard from.
I don't think Elgin will be back.
But I mean, and I really, and here's another thing too is I was looking it up. T. Higgins from Cincinnati. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that on the outside as a wide receiver.
He's not bad. Yeah, I think he'd be quality. I think he's number one potential.
Yeah, because they're not. I don't think Cincinnati's going to be able to pay Burrow, Chase,
Boyd. They just don't need Higgins as well.
Yeah, exactly. And Higgins. I mean, these last couple of weeks, I've
had him. Good. He always last year he was pretty good too. Yeah,
he's been killing it. So we were talking about the recap a little bit. Sean, what's going on with the special teams?
It's like I said in the last videos, it's just a weird time to be a Bears fan. I guess it's good. We've never had this problem before where we had this elite, I won't say elite, but potentially elite quarterback who's scoring 30 points a game with bums surrounding him, even against good teams. I mean, the last few we played are bad, but he dropped 30 on the Cowboys. I mean, they beat us, but I wouldn't say they weren't garbage time points. We were neck and neck with them until the end of the game, so he was scoring on. But it's like you said, just the special teams are just ridiculous. I cannot believe he returned that kick for a touchdown. I know Cordell's a GOAT in that sense, one of the best. But that just cannot happen. Like I feel like the Bear, like that's just not Chicago Bears football. The defense is horrendous. The special teams outside of Santos is just god awful. I mean, I know he missed that one. Was it before half? He missed that one, but it was like 50 something. I don't know. But he's made most of his kicks, so. Everybody's gonna miss a few, but the special team, the punt team's awful. The fucking kick return team, I cannot believe they gave up. That was just fucking pissed me off so bad.
Yeah, this is like the third or fourth week in a row now that there's been a non defensive touchdown allowed, whether it be an offensive pick six, a block punt for a touchdown, a fumble recovery for a touchdown, and now a kick return for a touchdown. That's 4 straight weeks that we've had non-defensive touchdowns
Yeah,
allowed,
like I
and
said,
it's horrible. It can't happen. And then what I tell you, with this defense, how how do you have after the game that Marcus Mariota had prior to this week, how do you allow him to do what he did? Uh, they have all fucking day to throw the football back there. There's no pressure. And as much as
no.
I like Jack Sanborn, okay, and I do, I think he's a serviceable good player. I think he's got a tip. If you watch the tape on the defense, and I ended up like rewatching the game a couple times just to watch the defensive snaps. So Jack Sanborn, when he's lining up in the hole, um, either come on a blitz or he's going to fake and drop back into coverage. When his right leg is forward and he's leaning, leaning into his right leg, he's coming. If his left leg is forward,
He's bailing.
he's bailing.
I haven't noticed that, but I do notice that we are showing our blitzes way too early. And if fucking Mariota can pick him up and make the checks, then you're not doing it good enough because he cannot do that. That's why he's never been good, is because he can't do that. And I felt like the Bears, he was just reading up whatever the fuck we were doing like a book. I agree, Mariota. Like there was just a couple times where like, I think this is not having Roquan out there. It's just like no leadership, or like they're just showing the blitz like 6 seconds too early. Like they have no feel for when he's going to snap the ball. No, like they're not working together. They're all just showing at different times. Then they're getting back. Then it's like, oh, come on. Any fucking football dummy knows that guy's still going. He ain't faking. You know what I mean? And he's just embarrassed that he did it too early and he doesn't know what to do. But it's like Mariota, like you said, are picking up on these tells. And like I said, maybe if you've seen it, I'm sure somebody else is seeing Sanborns. I think he's like I don't think he's an all down linebacker right now. He definitely gets picked on in the pass game. He doesn't get back. He doesn't drop back fast enough. There's a lot of third and longs that are going right over the top of his head for easy first down.
What was it? Lance Briggs. Lance Briggs he went on one of the post game shows and he said flat out, he said, don't take the cheese. And as a linebacker, when somebody's running a levels concept, you got to remember down and distance, right? It's 3rd and 18, down and distance. When they're running a levels concept, when the offense is running a levels concept and you're a linebacker, you're dropping back into coverage, right? You're dropping 15, 18 yards back. Okay. You have a wide receiver that's running a crossing route, 5-7 yard in, right? That quarterback, especially as a young defense, a young player, that quarterback knows that you're going to, for whatever reason, and you got to remember down in distance, you have to let that guy go. You have to, because 5 to 7 yards, if he catches that ball, he's got to still make it 13 more yards, gang tackle him, stuff like that. But Jack Sanborn, every single time on those levels concepts,
he gets caught
every single time, he takes the cheese and he takes that under route.
Yeah, he's got to focus on getting his depth, like just focus on getting to wherever you're supposed to be going. But yeah, a lot of third downs are right over his head. But I feel still he's the lone bright spot. I don't know what's happened since we really missed Robert Quinn. Even though I wanted to trade, I wanted him traded and I want him gone. It's just like I wish we had him back because none of these guys pass rush with any urgency. Muhammad is god awful. He's not I guess he's okay at stopping the run, but he gets zero pass rush. None of those guys are just getting. Justin Jones is the only one I feel like that's giving any kind of effort on the D line or any kind of urgency to get to the quarterback on a sack.
And that's what kind of pisses me off a little bit is that on defense, you're just straight rushing 4. It's a 4-man straight rush every time that you're rushing 4. There's no stunts. There's no there's no effort on the defensive side of the ball from Allie Williams or anybody to kind of try to, make something work.
This season's over too. It's like, who cares? Oh, if you run a crazy blitz and they score an 80-yard touchdown, who cares?
Just do it.
You're going to give up the touchdown anyway. Who cares if you do it in 11 plays or in 2? I'm very disappointed in the defense. I wanted to see somebody young emerge. I thought Dominique Robinson was doing a great job to start. I don't know if they got some tape on him and he's just got a really big tell, or he's got one move and they've saw it and they've just shut it down. but he's fallen off the last like 5 weeks. I thought he was realistically in like rookie of the year combo, at least top five to start the season. And now he's just fallen off. I don't think he's made a play in 3 games in a row. Like I said,
I
Mohammed is
haven't noticed. I haven't even noticed him on the field.
on the field again. Like I said, he hasn't done anything, and I feel like he was
No.
flashing the first 5 or 6 weeks. He was flashing, even in losses. He's making bat down passes. He's just, and I feel like again, like the D line is just. I don't sense any urgency when they're rushing. Like
It's not. It's yeah, and it's not just them too. It's the front seven. It's the four linemen and the three linebackers. We talk about Jack Sanborn. He's a pretty good, but dude, the other two linebackers, Nicholas Morrow is fucking awful.
a journeyman.
Like,
He's just a journeyman. There's a reason he never was a starter.
yeah,
Always a. I mean,
exactly. And
he's an
it's
okay
just
guy. He's a form tackler, but he doesn't have good instincts. He can't rush the passer. He's not that fast. Can't jump really high. It's like there's nothing really good about it. He's just out there. He's a solid football player. I don't want to talk shit about these guys, but you know what I mean. They're elite. But there's a reason he never is a starter. You know what I mean? Where he sits where he sits.
yeah.
It's going to be interesting. Like I said, we talked about it before. I'm guessing there's going to be freaking 8 new guys on the defense next year. And I'm all for it. None of these guys. This is the first time in a long time where like I feel like I have no connection to any of these fucking bums. We always had a ragtag group of scrappy, no matter who we had out there. You know what I mean? They were dogfighting on defense, and I feel like these guys have just given up. Especially when Justin Fields is fighting so hard. We never had this guy who's dropping 30. Like, you know what I mean? He's getting bad field position. He's driving up and down the field. We're rushing for 250 yards a game. That should be helping the defense, and it's just not. Like,
No. As well, when you're the defense has so many gaps. Watching this defense it's very painful
yes,
because
frustrating.
as a fan, there's no shot.
Yeah.
No shot. They're not. They can't make the
We're
stop when they
praying
need
the
to.
quarterback throws a bad ball. Like that's
It's
literally what we're out there. Like, please, Mariota, throw a bad pass. Like,
yeah.
it's like we're not thinking. Like, I'm never thinking like, oh, we're about to get a sack right here. Like, unless they're
No.
showing it, like they're sending everybody, and fucking the quarterback's a fucking idiot. Like, uh, it's really just miserable to watch.
The one bright spot on special teams I think that we had was the Velus Jones 55-yard kickoff return.
Yeah, finally they got him out there to play. At this
Yeah.
point, next week we have no reason to see Pettis on offense. Nice guy. I'm sure, you know what I mean? Next year, if he wants to be our fifth wide receiver and play special teams, by all means. But I think Claypool, Mooney, Velus Jones Jr., N'Keal Harry should be getting 100% of all the wide receiver reps. And then whoever's St. Brown and Pettis can have whatever's left over. Velus Jones, like I said, he's out. It looks like he's never going to return another punt. But at least they put him back on the kick return team.
Yeah.
But why is he not getting the ball? I don't understand. Like, it feels like to me, like at some point they're still like playing to win. I love to see Justin run. They're running with him too much. Like they're like, are we trying to win this game or what? Like I don't like. I'm fine with winning, but like we don't have to win by any means. We don't need to be fucking running Justin Fields on every 3rd and 2 to get 2 yards, like by him getting gang tackled for 2. Like no, we should be getting Velus Jones the ball. If he's a bust, fine, he's a bust. But like I said, at least give him a chance. I mean, our season's over. We want to be picking top 5 to trade back. Last mock I saw, we were what, 3?
Yep.
At 3, I don't think I want to trade back. I really want Will Anderson. I
would still, and
or Carter.
We'll get back to that on Factor Cap. I have a
Yeah,
question
okay.
about that.
All right. Well, so we won't dive too much into that. But the game was tough to watch. It sucked we lost. I guess we're still good for draft position.
We talked about the defense a little bit. Let's touch up on the offense a little bit because we were last week. You and I both were kind of blowing up Luke Getzy and his play calling, kind of giving him praise. He took a major step back this week.
I 1000% agree. I had some notes. I forgot to bring them, but the one thing that leapt out to me, he was running on first down every time again. A basic ass run too, like inside zone to David Montgomery. Why are we doing this? Come on, we got Justin Fields. You saw what happens. Get creative. Let's do some stuff. Herbert being gone, I thought it wasn't gonna be a big deal, but it was. Ebner's not him. All the runs we run for Herbert, that like those sweeps, those short side sweeps, Herbert always does really well on. Ebner was getting shit on. Like he cannot
Yeah.
find the hole. He didn't have any feel for it. Herbert, like they were giving him all Herbert's runs, and those were the runs he liked. That little short side sweep. He always gets like 7 yards on that play. Ebner got tackled for 3 yard loss like 3-4 times on that shit. Like,
Yeah, he's a special teamer at best. I don't think
yeah,
Travis Ebner, even
Getzy,
next year.
I 1,000% agree. He definitely took a step back. I thought he was lacked, especially against a shitty defense. It just lacked creativity all game. I think now Justin's been doing so good that he's like leaning on that now. When like it was better, those plays work better when you're being creative and you're coming. It's like now I feel like everyone knows like, oh bam, like Justin's running this play. Just I hate the first down HB dives. Basically, I don't like those. That's old school football. That shit don't work. They're basically playing you for that. They're giving up a lot of stuff. You could go get a lot of yards on first down with some simple 1-2-3 slant, throw a quick screen or something. There's a yards to be had instead of just trying to traditionally run right up the middle. That shit do not work on first down.
Unless you have Derrick Henry.
Yeah, again, yeah, and I mean they don't win. They're not winning the Super Bowl like that. They'll do okay and they'll have a nice game, but at the end of the day, that can be stopped. If you have to stop that, you can. It's easy to stack the line and fucking shoot the gap, and you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Eventually, you gotta, like I said, when they're stacking the box, you gotta run a little play action, and Justin's got to hit these 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? Turn around, bam, hit that slant. Fake the handoff, hit the slant, because that shit's there. Because they're up in the box, they got one safety over the top. Mooney's got to be winning these routes. That's why I say Bellis Jones, Claypool. These guys got to be out there. You know what I mean? If they suck, they suck. But let's see if they can win some one-on-ones because they're getting them. Like our receivers are getting one-on-ones.
Yeah, and that's the frustrating part too, is that once again we had a Byron Pringle sighting. He was on the field for a lot of the snaps. Chase Claypool had like what, another 2 catches for like another 11 or 13 yards or something like that. They just non-existent.
Yes.
They say something about the offense. The offensive route tree is complicated for this offense. It's a complicated offense. Yada yada yada.
Yeah. Okay.
But I still think it's bullshit, and I think that's a piss poor excuse. You gave up a number 2 for this guy.
Yes.
Your number 2 pick. That's going to be ending up being like number 35 or 36 in the draft, and he's nowhere to be found. Like you have, as an offensive coordinator, I don't give a fuck if he doesn't.
And he's not playing bad. Like I mean, I'm sure he's playing bad.
There.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe he's playing bad in practice, but I haven't seen him do anything in a game where I'm like, at least like Bellis Jones, I understand why he's not out there. I still think he should be, but I completely understand why he's not out there. He literally lost his 2 games doing what we drafted him to do, what his bread and butter is. So I understand. But Claypool, it's like he need that fly. Like it sucked that Justin missed that bomb to Mooney, but like we should be throwing 2 of those a game to Claypool. I think Claypool catches that. If that's Claypool out there, I think he gets there. I think if that's Claypool, he gets there. I just think
I'll
he's
tell you
faster.
What, we're seeing a real big improvement in the passing game with Cole Kmet.
Yeah,
that that's the man right there. I think they found a good tight end to kind of play with. Yeah. I'm not saying he's ever going to be Travis Kelce or George Kittle level, but he is a big body.
It's a good example, and it's also a Notre Dame alum. I think he reminds me a lot of Kyle Rudolph. Not a very good route runner, just good strong hands. He also blocks really well and just like a solid tight end. He'll be like a top 15, 10 tight end always.
I'd agree with that comp. Absolutely.
I think he reminds me a lot of Kyle. But yes, it's been Cole Kmet has taken a huge step this year with Justin. That was very great because we couldn't have him be a bust too. We couldn't be looking for a tight end and 3 wide receivers and and a whole line. So it's good that we got him, and he's just an excellent blocker. Big part of why the run game's doing so well. The wide receivers as well, St. Brown, all those guys. But like I said, I'm tired of seeing them out there.
I'm just tired of seeing a 1940s offense on the field. Like
I wouldn't say it's 1940s. I see in the sense that it's run first, but it is like creative runs. So I'm fine with that.
I understand the passing game. I get it. Offensive line's bad, but like you said, right? If you take a look at other teams in the NFL and you watch the other teams in the NFL, and I understand it's not necessarily Luke Getsy's offense, but Luke Getzy also was a quarterback coach in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. How many times do you see Aaron Rodgers take 5 seconds in the pocket to look for something, or even 3 seconds?
Well, maybe that's Justin. I don't want to toot his horn too much, but maybe that. I'm guessing that is Justin. I know I know they're not calling me all these design passes that are 5-step drop. Hold on to the
That's what
ball
I'm
forever.
saying. Like
So Justin
he,
does have to take that step. That's something he's gonna have to do. I know. I'm sure it's got a lot to do with the O line being just dog shit. Um, but still, you just got to take that next step. I think he needs to, Justin and Getzy need to make it more of a point to put these in the game. Like on first down, you know what I mean? Hike, snap, let's throw a slant. You know what I mean? If they're backed off, throw that little RPO quick screen over to Claypool right away. I just think he's getting a little like gassed up about the run, like we're doing so well. Like, yes, that's part of our game. We're going to do that. That's going to come. That's always there. But let's
even the
show him
tight
that we're,
end, even the tight end drag routes, like
yeah,
you got to throw something. And here's the thing too, with the offense, right? We see what it is. Luke Getzy, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Luke Getzy is off of the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree. I think,
possibly. I don't
yeah.
know.
So I
Probably.
think it's
He's
yeah,
a
someone
younger
from the
guy.
West
All those
Coast.
young guys are fucking
Yeah, but
Sean
see, here's
McVay.
the thing: is that with that offense, it's a lot of yak, right? It's a
Yeah.
lot of yard after catch, and you have Darnell Mooney, you have Chase Claypool, you have Velus Jones, you have
Yes.
guys that can move in open
I think
space.
that is Justin. I think he, like I said, I agree. I think he is a West Coast, and I think Justin's not throwing him. Or the guys aren't getting open. One of the two. I will say I don't think Getsy's out there being Mike Marks calling three man deep ass combo routes every time, 5-step drop combo routes. I don't think he's doing that. I think that's a step Justin Fields is going to have to take and to throw those trust his wide receivers to win those routes and just throw it. And because that's what we got Claypool for, but we should be doing, like I said, on first down, I want to see more like some curls, some slants, some quick little, you know what I mean, quick play actions where they get those free yards they're giving us because they're afraid we're going to run.
And see, that's the thing is that with his shoulder injury, right? It was a dislocation and a partially torn
You know, where he said
ligament.
separated.
Yeah, it was a separated shoulder and a partially torn ligament. It was both, and it's a non-throwing, right? It's like something with the AC joint, But if he can't go, right? I'm not worried about it, this and the other. But if he's gonna go as with Luke Getzy, you cannot call 15
No.
runs a game. You
Well,
can't.
I think he
I
needs
want
to
to
end
see
that. I don't care
30.
what Justin Shoulders feels like. I think the 15 runs a game should be dead. I think it should go down to about half.
I want to see him throw the ball 30 times. I don't care
Yes.
if there's nothing there. I don't care if he only completes 10 of those balls.
Well, I'm
I want
fine
to
if
see him
yeah.
throw 30 balls a game.
I want him to see it. Yeah, I agree. I want to see him drop back, and if some of the runs, if he's getting runs on the scrambles, then fine. But yeah, he needs to stop running so many design runs. He showed us it's there. When we're ready to win, you can go back to it. When we're ready to win and the games are on the line and we just want to, and our defense is there, maybe we that's always in the back pocket. But we're not even trying to win anyway. So Justin Fields needs to be getting hit at the least amount of times. But I still don't want us to hide away to give it to the running back the whole time. We
No,
want to do
I
it
don't
to
either.
some
I don't
six
either.
man
But
protections where he's going 1, 2, 3, boom, 1, 2, 3, boom. He needs to be practicing anyway because that's what we need from him. Because
those
once he gets that, it's game over. Once he starts making those throws, it's game over because he will become unstoppable to guard.
reading defenses,
Yes.
those short intermediate throws. We know he can throw the long ball. It's those short and intermediate throws that once again the
In
levels
timing, in
concept.
rhythm, yes.
Yes, it's the levels concept he needs to work on. He also needs to understand that NFL open is different than college open. Okay, you need
Yes.
to throw your wide receivers open in the NFL. And there's been a couple of opportunities that he's had where he has not
Just afraid. I
thrown his
agree.
wide
Where
receiver
he's,
open.
well, I'm guessing he's just like he's not open, but it's like he's
Yeah.
got position. He's
Yep.
6'4". You know what I mean? He's 220 pounds. Just throw it. He'll be all right. And if he doesn't catch it, that's an interception. Who cares? You know what I mean? You're still gonna be
And,
another.
and that's the thing. It's all about learning. And
Yes.
here's the thing too is that we talk about instead of quarterback runs, let's throw in some jet sweeps. Let's
Yes.
throw in
Please.
some
Yes. I think.
some wide receiver swing passes coming out of
Yes.
motion into the backfield.
I think Velus Jones should be getting 2 swings and 2 jets a game. I don't like literally written down in your fucking book and you cross them off like a fucking, like, you know what I mean? Like on a checklist. Like we're not ending this game unless he touches the ball 5 times that are basically runs. Like same thing with Claypool. We're going to throw 2 bombs to him and he's going to get 1 screen and he's going to get a jet sweep. And that we're not, you know what I mean? These have to happen in the game. We got to see if these guys can play. I think Claypool can play. I think he's a strong number 2 with, like I said, number 1 is a lot of like 5 with your quarterback. So, you know what I mean? Whoever Justin picks and that's the guy he's going to be thrown to. He's a number one wide receiver. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of how it is. Adam Thielen was a number one wide receiver until Justin Jefferson came. So I think Claypool can ball. I think he's really fast. He can jump really high. You can't just press him like you do a lot of these other guys, like they were doing Marquise Goodwin and how they're doing Mooney. Like Mooney gets taken out of a lot of plays because he can't beat the press.
Mooney would be so much better if he was just a slot.
Oh yes, if he wasn't getting the attention.
Oh my God! Could
yes,
you
he's
imagine,
getting pressed up. Yes, and then they're over the top cover.
Yes, having Claypool.
We saw when he had Allen Robinson
in the slot, man.
When he had Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson was getting all the coverage. He wasn't even having a good year, but he was getting the coverage, and Mooney lit it up because everybody was trying to guard Allen Robinson for whatever reason. But I think Mooney's fine.
Incredible.
Komet is making strides. Like I said, it's O-line. I'm an O-line guy, and I love the Bears, so I was trying to toot these guys horn a little bit. And their grades are good, but that's just because we run the ball so much. And they do that well. These guys do run block very well.
Absolutely, they're one of the best run blocking teams in the NFL.
Again, but
I understand PFF, right? Yeah. I know PFF has their grades and shit like that, but right now,
at a certain point, we're watching these games where it's like free runners, like just too many free runners.
The Chicago Bears, according to PFF, have the 14th highest graded offensive line in the NFL.
That's probably because we're 1 in run and 32 in pass.
If you watch the fucking games, dude, you're just sitting there like, what terrible. The fuck, man?
And I feel bad for Justin, but I do really like him. He seems like a fucking winner, and I do think he's going out there on Sunday. I don't think he wants to miss a game. I just think that's the type of kid he is.
Well, that's perfect that you say that. You know what I'm saying? Because we got the Jets coming up.
Yeah, that's what I say. Segue in the Jets.
On the road.
Zach Wilson just got benched. The guy that the Jets picked over Justin Fields. And again, I am one of the biggest Ohio State haters you were ever going to meet in your life. And it shocked me that Trey Lance and Zach Wilson got picked before Justin Fields. Like I said, and he was never a runner. I thought Justin Fields just had a nice arm and he had the skills to run. He was just mobile and he liked to extend plays, kind of like Justin Herbert does, and just make big throws after he extends the plays. But Zach Wilson is a bum. He's not good. He's just not good.
Mike White's starting.
Yes, Mike White.
Are you a little concerned? Because last year, remember, Mike White, he had a pretty decent stretch of games, right?
Where he was throwing for a lot of yards.
He's got a fucking cannon.
And they didn't have receivers when he was doing it. Now they got Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis, Elijah Moore. Like
absolutely. So, are you concerned? Because I'm looking at the secondary, right? And with no pass rush again. I mean, because the Jets have a pretty decent offensive line.
They got nice young O-line.
Ever since Breece Hall got injured, the running game has not been picked up. They got James Robinson from Jacksonville, but it just hasn't been the same. He's not the same dynamic playmaker as Breece Hall was. But going into this game, you got Mike White coming in, for the Jets. The guy's got a fucking cannon. No pass rush. They got good wide receivers. They got good playmakers on the outside. I'd be lying to you if I said that I wasn't concerned. I think this is another L. And I think that Mike White throws for like 350 yards against this defense.
I don't know. That's a lot. I guess concerned is, I don't know if I'd say concerned. I guess I would be concerned every game moving forward. I think everybody's going to throw for 300 yards on us. I don't know. I think the Jets are worse than the Falcons, in my opinion. They've got some tough wins. Their defense is all right, but
their defense is amazing.
I don't know if amazing is the word. Dude, I think they had a pretty weak schedule.
We talk about the interior offensive linemen for the Chicago Bears, how bad they are. Quinnen Williams is going to eat that offensive line.
I'm not saying I don't think Quinn Williams is good or Sauce is good or isn't, or these guys aren't good. I'm just saying, like, they got a shitty record too.
They got playmakers on all three levels of defense. All three levels.
I think if Fields is playing, he's gonna give them a lot of trouble. I think if we get shit on if Fields doesn't play. But
this is a bad spot to be in, and here's why. Because Justin Fields, yes, if he plays, but here's the thing: he might be scared to get. He may not. He may never admit it. But now with his shoulder acting up and his legs, dude, he had no legs in the fourth quarter of that game. He was
just tired too. I don't know if it was just
exhausted, dude.
He might be fine though. That's just one game. It was a home game. It was probably a lot of adrenaline. That was a hometown reunion. he went crazy in the first half. I mean,
I get it.
I agree. He's going to have to pace himself more. We probably got to realize now, Getzy too, that like they can't beat him like that anymore. Like he's our quarterback. He can't be tired in the fourth quarter, so he can't have
I,
15 carries.
I'm scared that this game may or may not get out of hand. I remember talking to you about the Dallas game, and you asked me when I gave you my picks about the Dallas game. You're like, "Oh, you're not going to take the Bears plus 9.5?" And I told you, I said it's either going to be a really close game or it's going to be a blowout. It was going to be one of those two, and I just wasn't comfortable laying the 9.5 points. I wasn't
That
sure.
was, but that was if Justin Fields doesn't jump over Micah Parsons instead of tagging him down, I think it would have been a 9 point game.
They lost by 20.
I know, but I'm saying like
But
that was a
anyways,
temp. That was a 2 touchdown. Or that was at least a 10 point swing right there.
here's my thing. This game against Robert Sala's a good
Oh yeah,
coach.
he's great. Great defense coach too. I think they're okay.
The Jets defense, I think, is gonna be a very difficult task. I mean, it's gonna be kind of like that Dallas game. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying New York is on that level of defense as the Cowboys are, but I
Yeah, they're gonna
think
be
now
getting
that
after him.
there's more tape with the Bears offense now, and you had Atlanta kind of,
Yeah, they kind
start
of
to catch on a
button
little
it up a
bit,
little bit. Yeah, but they also
I
had, I guess, they had Grady Jarrett, but I guess they had
yeah,
Quinn Williams too. So
I really think that this may be a close game going into halftime, but I will say that if Justin Fields starts to get tired mentally and physically again in the second half, it's gonna be a bad
yeah,
second half
yeah.
against
But
the
I
New
think
York
that's
Jets defense.
Getsy's fault. I think he got, like you said, his play calling got bad, and it kind of you got to keep Justin going. Like, and I think it just got a little depressing. They got a couple 3-and-outs in a row. You know what I mean? He's getting put in third and longs. That's not what he's good at. That's what I'm saying. We cannot run HB dive up the center's ass on first down. Like we cannot do that. Like Justin,
Especially up the center with
that's what I'm
no
saying.
Tevin Jenkins, man. Fucking
Yeah,
Sam
they were
Best.
running. Like I said, I'm
Oh
fine with
my
it. Maybe
god.
on 2nd and 5, run it. Like I said, but the 1st and 10, like we cannot do the predictable up the middle runs. Like stop running
No,
up the middle
you
on first
have to
down.
have more zone read.
Yeah.
David Montgomery is a zone read
Yeah.
running back. He's
Some
not a
stretches.
power back. He's not an outside sweep jet guy. He's a between the tackles, right? But not necessarily in that A gap, that 0 and 1 gap. You can't have that. You got to have a little bit of trap motion. You have to have a little bit of stretch motion. You can't just. He's a one cut back, one cut, boom, up the field. That's what David Montgomery is good at. And you got to have a little bit of that preconceived, that pre-snap motion as well.
Yes, I
Because
think. Yeah, I thought he got real bland this week, and it was just, I remember just screaming like, why do we keep running it up the middle on first down? Because we got to keep Justin Fields out of third and longs, because if it's third and inside of 5 and that student body left quarterback run play is an option, that opens up everything. And I think he can make a lot better reads when he's on 3rd and 5 than 3rd and 10. But like I said, I don't know if I'm concerned about the Jets. Guess I'm just waiting to see if Justin plays. I personally want to see him push through it. I don't think if it was a knee, I'd say sit him down. It was it was just throwing arm, I would say what. But if he wants to tough it out, and it just seems like he does, I'm all for it. Who cares if he messes up his non-throwing shoulder? So I don't give a shit.
well, I'll tell you
Well,
what, they're
that's
four and a
my.
half point, they're 4.5 point dogs right now.
That's it. That's interesting.
Yeah, but that's without Justin Fields. I'm sure if they say Justin Fields isn't going, that line will jump to something like 7.5 because I think the
Who
quarterbacks
is
are
our
normally worth
backup? Fuck,
quarterbacks are normally worth
who's
three
our
point.
backup?
Simeon.
Oh yeah, I guess he's okay. I mean, it just it's better than Foles. I'd rather have him out there than Foles. He was dog shit.
He probably knows the offense better.
Yeah, the Jets. Like I said, the Jets. I'm kind of getting numb to the season. I don't know in a long time if I felt like I just wanted the season to be over so badly.
The line,
Last
actually,
year, like,
I just looked. The line is 6.
yeah, that's interesting. Like I said, I'd wait to see if Justin Fields is playing. With him playing, how many did we score against Atlanta? 24.
24.
Yeah, so the Jets aren't scoring a lot of points either. So I think we can put up 20 on them. I mean, before Atlanta, we had scored over 30 4 times in a row. And like you said, Justin was just dead in that second half. We all could see it. Anybody who played football before could tell that Justin Fields was just out of gas. I definitely noticed it, but I just thought Getzy did that to him. Where like, come on, I know we saw Lamar win the MVP and all blah blah blah, but like we can't run our boy like that.
Justin Fields is fifth, not just in quarterbacks. Justin Fields is fifth in the league, the entire league, in rushing yards. Fifth.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. What's he in
In the
attempts? He's probably like 20.
fucking league.
Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, he's got some big runs. But I just want to see. I'm not saying I want to stop seeing him running. I just want to like some of these runs that are just like setup runs, like I said, on first down, where they're like, "Oh, let's run a dive with Justin Fields." Like, no, I don't. I only want to see Justin strategically pull on some zone reads 4 or 5 times a game, and then on the red zone when we need a touchdown, of course, run that shit. We need the touchdown.
And like we were talking about, those short little passes that are quote unquote extensions of the run game, where you got swing patterns.
The Velas, yes.
Little,
speaking of, something else I want to bring up. We skip past this in the game. Mooney is terrible when he catches the swing pass. He never gets up the field. He always tries to he'll be inside. He tries to go around the wide receiver. They'll be like 8 yards there, and he will not take it. He will try and get around the wide receiver, the outside wide receiver, who's riding his man to the foot. Like his job is to put, like if he's letting him ride him to the end, like the out of bounds, that's what he's supposed to do. And it's like little Mooney caught like 4 of them, and he literally both times lost. I mean, he ended up getting like 2 or 3 yards, but he like ran back behind fucking St. Brown and then up and around him. It's like, dude, what the fuck? Just catch the ball and start going up the field. Like, I feel like he doesn't want to get hit. I feel like he doesn't want to take a hit like that. But there was, I would say, 3 of the 4, he literally could have caught it, ran for 8 yards, and slid down head first before anybody even fucking touched him. And instead, he tried to run behind the fucking wide receiver. Like I said, that's where Velus Jones needs to be getting the ball. That's what he does. He's got a better read, like for shooting the gap or whatever. But like Mooney's not. I feel like they're giving Mooney all the fucking RPO bubbles, and they're giving fucking St. Brown all the fucking jet sweeps. It's like, what the fuck? Like, why isn't Claypool and Velus Jones getting those plays? St. Brown is like 6'5", 220 pounds. Like, he's got to be our slowest wide receiver, and he gets like 2 jet sweeps a game. Like, I don't understand.
Samsung.
Okay.
So just pause that real quick.
All right. But yes, Mooney is awful at running screens. I don't understand why they keep throwing it to him. But Tom reminded us, one of our childhood heroes, before we get into Factor Cap, Jason David
Frank.
For Jason David Frank, sorry. The Green Ranger, the White Ranger, the GOAT.
The Black Ranger.
Died, passed away.
The Red Ranger.
Yeah, he committed suicide. So we'll give him a little moment of silence, 30 seconds. Jason David Frank, R.I.P. Green Ranger. All right, we'll get back. Yeah, he was a GOAT. Sorry.
All right, now that that's over, time to lighten up the mood a little bit here with some Factor Cap. Sean, I got 5 of them today. I wanted to go with 4, but I thought of a new one on the fly, so I went ahead and just added a 5th one. So, first one. In light of Justin Fields' shoulder issues, coupled with his legs not looking the same in the 4th quarter against Atlanta, let me ask you a question, Factor Cap. Should the Bears shut down Justin Fields for the season to preserve his short and long-term health?
I would definitely say Cap. I just personally believe being out there, the reps is what he needs. I think Getzy and Eberflus have to do a better job of protecting him from himself. They need to stop calling those plays where he's taking those hits. And I think for the remainder of the season, we should be using Justin Fields running more as a secret weapon and a backup plan instead of the vocal point like we've been doing. I love to see it. It was great. It was fun to watch. it's amazing to see he's got that gear. Like I said, when we got him, that wasn't what I was expecting. But right now, until we're ready to win, he shouldn't be taking those hits right now. I mean, when we're gonna have 12 wins and we're going to the playoffs. I mean, it's gonna suck, but we need those gritty yards. We need those wins right now. Montgomery can take those hits. He's not even going to be on our team next year. Um, so I think we need to save him, but I definitely don't want to see him shut down for not from this. If he hurts his knee, then yes. If he hurts his knee
Well,
at all, I want him done for the year.
so my whole thing was, and I said cap for the season, but realistically, with their bye week coming at week 14, there's 2 games before their bye. If they were to say, "Hey, look, we're gonna let Justin sit out these next 2 games, we're gonna bring him back after the bye, and he's gonna play the last 4 games," I'd also be okay with that, only because you don't want to run the risk, like I said, long term of putting your franchise quarterback out there in a position for him to potentially, because he's a gamer, dude. That's what
I
he's gonna
I
do.
agree there. But
You
I
know what I'm
you could
saying?
just you can get hurt doing anything. So I mean, we could sit him out all next year, and he gets hurt the first preseason snap. So that I agree. I just like if he's nagging injuries, then yeah, I'm sure sit him out. If Justin doesn't feel right, if he doesn't feel 90%, I don't think anybody like 100% is unreasonable. What NFL player is 100% at any point of the year? But if Justin feels that he's ready to go, I think that is the mark of a franchise quarterback where we're, you know what I mean? It's his franchise now. So he's, you know what I mean? He's kind of making some of these rules now. I just think he doesn't call the plays yet. So they should protect him in that way. But everything else, Justin's got the ball. Like, you know what I mean? He says all the right things. He's doing all the right things. Nobody's telling him what to say. He's saying leader shit. So if he's talking the franchise quarterback shit, if he says he's good to go, then I'm all, especially like I said, it's his non-throwing shoulder. If it was his throwing shoulder, I would agree with you. Sit him down 2 weeks, go into the bye. You know what I mean? Let's be cool, and then we'll roll him out the last few games to run up some stats and get ready after we've already tanked our season away. But I don't want to see him just sitting on the bench for no reason, just for the sake of safety, like just in case, like anybody get hurt, any play, like you know what I mean. Eventually, he's gonna go back out there. Guys gonna be trying to take his fucking head off anyway. So if he's got a nagging knee injury, like I said, I want him done. If his knee gets hurt at all, he's limping. If I see him limping in his knee or even a big concussion, let's just shut him down. I'm fine with that. We've seen what we need to see, but I think there's still work to be done
Oh,
from
absolutely.
Getzy and from him, and the work gets done on the field. So I don't want him to if he's healthy and he can go. And like I said, you build football's chemistry. The O line, the wide receivers is just chemistry. And some of these guys were kind of stuck with the Mooney, Claypool. Um, I mean, Velus Jones. I mean, I honestly at this point wouldn't be shocked if he got cut, but we're stuck with Claypool, Komet, Mooney, Fields. So I need those guys out there running around together.
All right. Well, speaking of Luke Getzy, number 2, after praise these last few weeks after the offensive production, Luke Getzy has had some very questionable play calling at the end of the Atlanta game. So, Factor Cap, you have lost faith in Luke Getzy as a play caller.
No, I don't think I would say Cap. I haven't lost faith. Definitely seeing things I don't like after a nice like 5 or 6 week stretch, but the first down runs, like we talked about earlier, definitely left out to me. Again, the running too much with Justin. Like I said, sometimes your job is to save him from himself. He's the franchise quarterback now, so he's doing what he's going to do anyway. You know what I mean? Andy Reid's not telling Patrick Mahomes to make no look passes, but you know what I mean. So uh, that point, it's just like we can't be calling too many of these design quarterback runs. If he feels it, he's got to go by all means. If you know what I mean, he's shaking off the rush and he's got to get it. But we got to, like you said, he's a winner. He's a gamer. You call fucking quarterback power right. He's running like he's a fucking running back. Like sometimes he thinks he can run over somebody.
I'd agree that it's Cap. I just want to see a little bit more creativity from Luke Getzy. He's become very predictable in his play calling,
Yeah.
and that's something that, when you're a one-dimensional team as it is, for you to be one-dimensional and predictable in your play calling, that's a
Yes.
recipe for disaster. And I really think that he needs to kind of up his game in terms of creativity. Let's start scheming those guys open a little bit. Some
Yes.
of those,
Agree.
swing patterns, those screens that you were talking about, stuff
Yeah,
like
I said, yeah, he should be calling plays for guys now, not
yeah,
just plays in your
absolutely.
system. Like we need to Claypool, we need to see him touch the ball 5 times a game. You know what I mean? 10 targets a game. Velus Jones needs to get 5 touches a game. Like what the hell do we got these guys for? What did you get them for? I mean, I'm pissed off Velus Jones fumbled those ball, and fine, he can never return a punt again. I'd be fine with it. But he should be getting the kick returns. He should be getting some swing passes. Why are we throwing in the Mooney anyway? He's already, like I said, I'm not going another Mooney tangent, but he's shown he's not a fucking. That's not his thing.
No.
He's a good route runner and he's got solid hands. That's what he does, but he's not a out in open space runner.
All right, so number 3 on FS1, former running back LaShawn Shady McCoy suggested that the Bears need to draft a quarterback this offseason. You already know where I'm going with this. He also said it was because Justin Fields can't throw the football and that no wide receivers want to come to Chicago to play with him. So factor cap, LaShawn McCoy is an idiot.
That is big facts. That was just I think he was just trying to be controversial, but that was like some hater shit. Like I hate Ohio State, but like that kid's already shown he can play. Like, what do you mean? Like, this is literally the first time he started running in his whole life. Was on the Bears, and as lifelong Bears fans, angry Bears fans, we know why he's running. We've never had an O-line, but he never ran in Ohio State. Like I said, I watched I'd say 70% of their games just to hate on him. He never ran. I mean, I know he was on a super team and he didn't need to, but that just wasn't. They weren't designing runs to him. They weren't doing any of that shit. He was a drop back passer who occasionally would take off, but so I just think Shady's being a hater. Like. I remember him saying, like, oh, he should be throwing. Like, our receivers are not good. Like, no. Justin Fields could be better. I'm not saying he's perfect, but our wide receivers are ass. Like, they can't get off.
This is the third week in a row. This is the third week in a row he said some dumb shit about Justin Fields not being a good quarterback. And even the panel, the panelist, Emmanuel Acho, the female, I forgot what her name is, they all looked at him like he was fucking crazy. And in this world of fucking hot takes that we live in now with Dan Orlovsky saying, oh, he's playing himself into the MVP conversation. Then he got LaShawn McCoy on the other side saying he's not even a good quarterback. You guys should draft another quarterback, blah, 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 blah. It's fucking ridiculous, and it needs to stop.
Yeah. I mean, play. I'm fine with the takes, but that was, I just like, I think it's just not based in any, like, he's not being like, what is like fucking Mooney his boy or something? Like, is fucking N'Keal Hill, like, or somebody on our wide receiver like crew, like friends with him, like these guys are he's just objectively not good, like worse than the fucking guys the fucking Patriots had when Tom Brady was there, like, and everybody pointed out how bad those guys were, like so it's like I said, Justin can be better. There are passes that are out there that he can make, that I know he can make, but again, he's nervous, he's fucking young, he's the fucking franchise quarterback of a top 5 sports team in general,
like history, I wouldn't even, and one that's never had a quarterback.
Yes, I wouldn't even, like I said, it's not even just football. Like, it's like they're like big, like the Lakers are big, like the Yankees are big, like it's the fucking Chicago Bears. Like, so it's not like, it's a lot of pressure. And like I said, our O-line is atrocious, and the play calling can be better. Like, what is he taught? He can't throw. Getzy's calling the runs. He's just running. Like, what do you want him to do? Not, hey, change the play. Was he Willie Beeman? The coach said run fucking QB power left. He's got to run QB power left. So I would say, like I said, it's more an indictment on Getzy than Justin Fields. The times Justin's taking off, he's fucking scrambling for a 60-yard touchdown. He should have threw it to Claypool for a slant for 11 yards instead of pump faking and running 80 to the house. Like, that's what I don't fucking get. Like, Shady McCoy of all, like, who was a fucking crap, like a shifty, fucking non-conventional running back who didn't do it the way everybody else did it, and people had the same claims about him. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I think you're right. He's just trying to be hot take. Like I said, Justin Fields was on a 6-week run where like guys were saying like he's an MVP, like, and living in Chicago, in the area, and then so I've heard it too, but I don't think it's that far. Justin Fields, barring injury, knock on wood, you know what I mean? I'm praying for this guy. I don't even believe in God, but I'll be praying for Justin Fields multiple times a year. For good health,
longevity, baby.
Yes, I wish Justin Fields nothing but longevity and good health. But if he doesn't get hurt, the guy's a top 10 quarterback. Like, anybody can see that. He's on a dumpster fire team, but he's got an arm. He runs better than fucking 30 other running backs in the league. He's top 5 rusher. Like, he can throw. The guy can throw. We've seen it. You know what I mean? It's not perfect, but he can throw better than most. So, and he can run better than running backs. It's like he's clearly have the tools to be, if we got a real number 1 wide receiver, a halfway decent pass blocking offensive line, he's going to be top 10 Pro Bowl you know what I mean, for the rest of his career. And that's
I, I
just that's like you know what I mean. I'm not a fucking blind guy. I can see that. So I don't like I said I don't know what called up Shady McCoy's ass. Maybe he's a Michigan fan. I don't know. Um,
yeah, but you're a Michigan fan, and
yeah,
even you're
but
not.
he went to the Bears. He went to the only place I would forgive him for that sin. So
All right. So right now, as it currently stands, the Bears hold the number 3 draft pick in draft positioning. If the season were to end today, at that spot, both Will Anderson and Jalen Carter should be available, and they both fill a huge hole on the roster. However, there are multiple places on this roster that need talent upgrades. So factor cap. The Bears should trade back in the draft to collect more draft capital to fill more holes.
I will say, fact, they should trade back. If Will Anderson's there, I don't want them to, but I do think we should. I think that would just be the smartest move. We need multiple first round picks and we need them fast. So I think we should do something like Philly did, where we get like 2 later firsts and or a first and a second, and then somebody's next year's first that's got potential to be top 10.
Well, see, and that's the thing is that okay, so if you have the number 3 pick, if the season would end today, and you have I don't have the draft order in front of me,
Who are the
but
worst 2 teams? We'll see.
it's Houston and it's Houston and somebody else. I don't know, but they both need quarterbacks. I do
Okay.
know that.
That's what I want
But
to know, basically.
but the 5th and the 6th, right? The 5th and the 6th pick. I think you might find somebody who necessarily needs a quarterback. Maybe if you trade from 3 to 5 or 3 to 6, either Will Anderson or Jalen Carter, one of those two will be there because I think mostly everybody that's coming in the
Carolina,
top
yeah.
5 is going to want, a quarterback.
Who was it?
So
Levi or the dude from Kentucky, right?
yeah,
Levi's
Will Levi, the kid from Alabama, Bryce Young, the kid
Well,
from
Stroud
Ohio
and Young are going
State.
to go 1 and 2. So I'm saying who are one? Stroud and Young are going 1 and 2.
Oh yeah. You
So
got
I'm just
Will
basically
Will
taking those
Levi.
guys out of the equation because they're not nobody. Whoever's trading up to 3 don't want them because they're not going to be there.
No, they won't be there.
Um,
But you
so it's
have that
Levi.
potential.
Yeah, I do think somebody's going to want Levi and trade up. So I do think there'll be options. I think Will Anderson is a game changer, though. I think he's really good. I think he's what we need more than anything. And I got obviously he's not Micah Parsons, but just a
But
disruptor.
is he an edge rusher or is
He's like
he
a middle
a
linebacker who also edge. He's like Parsons. Like he like moves around a lot. They move around all over the place. He's kind of like Micah
but
Parsons, but
does
with the.
do they play a 3-4 defense is what I'm saying. Does Alabama play a 3-4 defense?
I think
Because
I don't know. I think
here's what
it
I'm
depends
concerned
on their
about.
personnel. I think they do a lot of weird stuff.
Because if they draft him, will they keep him as a linebacker or will they move him down into a defensive end? Because they don't play a 3-4 defense. If he's a 3-4 edge linebacker, they're not going to be able to, he's not going to be able to be a 4-3
I mean, they'll
will
probably
linebacker.
just rush him the whole time. Is that my guess? Because he's got a good pass rush. He's a disruptor, like I said. He doesn't always get there, but he gives the guy, he pushes the guy he's going against back and gives him fits. And it's just, I'm sure that's just in the quarterback's peripheral. It just fucks with him. But I think, like you said, I think it's fact that the Bears should do what they can to get the assets. Our team is in shambles right now. We just traded our best player, all pro. You know what I mean? I mean, basically looking like a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? Statistically, I mean, if he does what he did for, you know what I mean? If he goes all pro, what, 3 more times? That's Hall of Famer. He's gonna have a shit ton of tackles. He's already been all pro twice, right? 2, 3 times, first team or some shit.
Twice. Yeah.
So yeah, we traded him for a second round pick. So we're just in a whole. I kind of like what Poles did. I really wanted Pickens, but we'll see what he does this time. I like Gordon and Brisker, so I don't think they were misses. I think they're going to have long NFL careers as quality NFL players.
Well, they might miss this week too because they're both in concussion
Oh,
protocol.
shit, I didn't know that. Ooh.
Yeah, they both did not participate today because of concussion protocol.
I'm afraid to see who our backup safety is.
Fields was limited in practice, and
Yeah, I
Tevin
saw
Jenkins
he was limited. I saw his talk too,
and Tevin
but he
Jenkins
didn't ever
was a
say.
full.
But
Tevin
usually,
Jenkins was a full participant.
Cap said that usually that they don't talk if he's going to sit out. If they think he's going to sit out, usually you don't talk if you're injured for the week.
Yeah.
They'll usually let the backup come out and talk. So they probably plan to play Justin unless there's a major setback.
They said they said if his shoulder still feels the same as it does
Yeah, but
now, he
I think
probably won't play.
but what I'm saying is like I think Justin knows that, so he's going to say whatever he thinks or he knows they need to hear for him to play the game. I think that's just the type of guy he is, who he seems like.
All right, so last one. This is a basketball question. Chicago Bulls are currently sitting at 6-10 and are 12th in the Eastern Conference. Zach LaVine has struggled and has not looked like the superstar the Bulls thought he would be, especially after giving him the max extension. So, Factor Cap, the Chicago Bulls regret giving Zach LaVine the max extension.
Mm.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, because I would say Cap just because who else were they going to get? That's the only thing I would say. Um, I
I would
guess
I would say
I would
fact
say
now because they're
fact now.
now they're tied to that money and they're tied to that player.
Well, can he be
And
traded in December or something? Right? Isn't it like
yeah, and we were talking about, like a potential Anthony Davis or LeBron James trade to the Lakers because the Lakers suck, dude. They're gonna blow that thing up pretty soon. But I, I'm looking at this contract, right? And you were kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place if you were the Bulls front office. You have Zach LaVine, who, you don't want free agents, thinking, hey, this guy just, came in and played excellent basketball for you, and you're just going to let him walk. You're not going to, give him the money that
yeah?
he's owed. You're not going to give him the bag, yada, yada, yada. So they kind of felt pressured into doing that because, like
Well,
you
I
said,
just
there
thought
was
there was
nobody else
nobody
for the
to get.
market.
Yeah, and
There
in
was nobody else for
basketball,
the
you
market.
can't. It's just you got to have them. You sign them because somebody else might want them. So you just really they
And
really couldn't lose them. So that's why I said that's what I was trying to say. I thought I didn't really want to say it was fact because I didn't think there was like, oh, they signed him instead of getting somebody else. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to spend that money. They're the Bulls. So,
I think you're
I
regretting
do,
it now.
yeah, I do think but like I saying, like, who they would have had? Like, nobody.
I, I I'm not saying
They would
I'm not
rather have
saying
the
they
money.
regretted it
Yeah.
then when they
No, I'm
signed
saying
them.
right now. But what I'm saying is like looking now. If right now, if you're looking, it's like, oh, fine, we didn't do it. What were they gonna have? They still be just as shitty without Zach LaVine.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be paying one player $25 million
Yeah,
to
but that's easy.
be shitty.
He's a slam dunk champion who can hit threes. It'll be easy to trade him for something. It might not be exactly what you want, but he's got some appeal.
Oh, he's got some trade value,
Yeah.
absolutely. If you have
So
one piece on
that's
your
where I
team,
say I don't think the Bulls should be worried. I think the right team might actually want him. Like be like, oh, it's like he just wasn't getting the right shit on the Bulls because of DeMar.
I'm hoping so. All right, so are you ready for picks of the week, sir?
Yes, sir. Picks of the week. I did not
All
make a
right.
graphic, so you can run through yours. And like I said, moving forward, we'll have one. I think I'm gonna have a ticker, and it'll go down at the bottom.
All right, yeah, for sure. All right, so this week I have a Thanksgiving game. I got Minnesota. They're getting 2.5 points against the Patriots. They are at home. I think Minnesota wins by a field goal. It's a home game
Is
against the
somebody hurt?
Patriots. No,
No, I think that shit. That's easy money.
that's what I'm saying.
That's a
Two and a half,
lock. I'd
two
say
and a half
I
points.
bet got him by a touchdown.
Um, I also have Washington, the Commanders. They're 4.5 point favorites. They're giving 4.5 points to Atlanta. They are at home against Atlanta, and ever since Tyler Heineke's been playing quarterback for that team, it's been a completely different team. I think that's a touchdown game against Atlanta as well, especially since it's at home. And Ron Rivera just has this team playing extraordinary football. And like I said, they just seem to be a different team when Tyler Heineke's playing instead of Carson Wentz. Um, I have Cleveland. Cleveland's getting 3.5 points against Tampa Bay. I'm not sold on Tampa Bay. Everybody's talking about Tom Brady's back. Tom Brady's back. It's at home against Tampa Bay. And like I said, I'm just not sold that Tampa is back. Tom Brady, greatest of all time. But the team's just not there. The team's not there. They're terrible running the football. Tom Brady's, connection with his wide receivers haven't been there all year. I don't see it all of a sudden turning the corner. I think Cleveland is a very tough home opponent, and they're getting 3.5 points. I think they cover that. Tampa Bay may win, but I think it's closer to like a 24-21 game as opposed to, a blowout. And then I got Los Angeles, the Chargers. They're 3 point favorites
Yeah, I
on
like
the
that one a
road
lot.
against Arizona. Um, Arizona at home is a bad team. They're a bad team in general. But they're giving up 3 points to Arizona on the road, and I think that Arizona is just that. You talk about a franchise that's going to be a dumpster fire in the next coming years. It's going to be Arizona. Arizona's next. They're
I think
terrible.
Kyler is pretty
He's
shitty.
he is horrible. He's a horrible quarterback.
I don't know if
I
horrible is
believe
a word, but I just think that's bad play
it's
calling, and he's
easy
just
money.
weird. But
Um,
I do like that though. I had three. I wrote. Was that your last? Oh no, you got one more. I
I got
remember.
one more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Indy, 2.5 point favorites at home against Pittsburgh. Jeff Saturday has that Indianapolis Colts team playing phenomenally. And I really think that Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin, he covered for me last week. But dude, Pittsburgh's so bad.
They
They're
look good with
so
Watt.
bad.
That Watt gives them life, but yeah, they are bad. All right, I only had three. I like Tennessee Titans money line. They're rolling. Joe Burrow still without Chase. I'm surprised they're the favorite in this game, but I really like the Titans. It's plus 120. Even with the 2.5, you like it, but I think the Titans are going to win that one outright. They're also at home, so I don't understand what it is. Their defense has been playing very well. I like you had the Vikings minus 2.5 over the Pats. They just scored like 2 points against them. They won on a fucking punt return against the Jets. The Vikings are going to put up like 25, 24 to 28, something like that. I just don't think I don't think the Pats are going to score that many. So I think that's a touchdown. And I like the Chargers over the Cardinals, but Kyler's not even playing, right? Isn't it Colt McCoy? I think Kyler's hurt.
I know
but
Colt
just
McCoy played last week.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I don't know.
Kyler's coming back.
But I like the Chargers in that game too. The Cardinals suck. They just have no heart. Their quarterback is, unlike I said, he don't got no heart. But all right,
He's too busy worried about his Call of
Call of
Duty.
Duty. That's crazy. That guy's got to like appear offline and buy like a fake thing just so he can play Call of Duty now because the whole fucking world thinks he's playing that instead of fucking doing what he's supposed to do.
Playing football, studying the playbook, you know.
All right. Episode 3, that was a good one. R.I.P. Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger. It's very sad to see that. Condolences to his family. Like I said,
Man, it sucks.
Everybody our age, like he said, he's a goat. One of the
what Kimberly was, everybody's first crush, and me growing up having the name Tommy, you know what I'm saying, growing up as a kid, and you're the same name as the Green fucking Ranger, you know what I'm saying, that gave me confidence as a kid. So of course, it hurts. It really does hurt, man.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week. Adios, Tom.
Deuces.
Bye. I gotta go. Ugh.